Hello everybody! So today I have a little bit of a different video. You are not going to be seeing my face today, unfortunately. I know it's a really great face. I'm very well aware of that. But today I am going to be bringing you guys a bullet journal setup and a little bit of a Q&A. So I asked you guys over on my Instagram what questions you wanted me to answer about my bullet journal because I wanted to have this little bit of an introduction to my bullet journal and how I use it and stuff like that. So without further ado, let's just get into the video. So the first question that I got is, what is bullet journaling? And bullet journaling is basically a system that was made by writer Carol. I believe he does have a book all about the bullet journaling method. I personally have not read it, but I have heard amazing things from so many people. Bullet journaling, in my opinion, is essentially a way for you to plan your life and have a creative outlet with 1000% creative control. You don't really have any restrictions with how you can plan your time. Basically, as long as it can fit into some sort of notebook, you can do it. And then the next question I got did not surprise me at all, and that was, what supplies do I use to bullet journal? So I'm going to start off by just listing all of the supplies that I'm going to be using in this video, and then I'll have, I believe, one or two at the end that I don't use in this video, but I do use semi-often. So first of all, we have these dual fine tip markers. So many people in the bullet journal community love like the mile liners and the fine liners and stuff like that, and I really do want some. They look really nice. I have a lot of friends who have them, but I just personally haven't had any yet. And I got these dual fine tip markers at Michael's, which is a craft store, and I've had them for years and they haven't died on me yet, so I'm just gonna continue to use them. The next thing that I have is my Pilot G2 pen. So this is basically just my go-to pen for anything that I want to stand out and just be a little bit bolder and just a little bit more inky in general. And then I have my Bic pen. This is a really cheap pen that I got from Walmart, and this is basically what I use for all of my other writing when I really don't want to have to deal with smearing, because with my other Pilot G2 pen, I usually have to wait about 10 minutes in between doing spreads, or else my pen will smear, which is one of my biggest pet peeves with my bullet journal. Then next I have a ruler because I absolutely hate wobbly lines, so I got this cheap like $1 ruler from Walmart to serve my perfectionist issues things, you know what I mean. So next I have scissors because, as I'll talk about in a minute, I do use cardstock and printed pictures and construction paper, so scissors are a must, and I don't remember where I got these. I've had these for centuries, so any scissors will work really. Then I have a glue stick because I need to glue things. Then I have some cardstock, and I personally do prefer construction paper, so this video was my first time using cardstock in a bullet journal, and what I will say is it did work, and I do objectively think it looks nicer than my construction paper, but it was a pain in the ass to glue. It took 20 times longer to glue this fucking cardstock than my regular construction paper. Then the next thing that I use is printed pictures. I print all of my pictures off from Pinterest. So then the next supply that I have here is actually very specific to this video. I've never used this in a bullet journal before, but I have these cute little envelopes. I think I got them for like my birthday or a different holiday or something a while ago, and I never really used them for anything, I don't think, but it just fit very well for one of the spreads. And then lastly, like I kind of mentioned previously, I do use construction paper. I don't use any in this video because I used the cardstock instead, which did end up looking a lot better, but I honestly just hijacked construction paper from my little cousin. Don't worry, he has more, so I just took some. So then the next question that I got was, how long do my spreads take to set up? And this is a really hard question for me to answer because it completely varies. So for example, probably the fastest spread I have ever made was my reading tracker spread, but that's because when I initially set up that spread, I literally just had to measure the things out. I like wrote out the columns, and it took like 3 minutes for each page. It was really simple, it was really fast, and it's one of those spreads where you set it up throughout the year. So I think for me, setting up spreads, it really just depends how much I'm setting up initially. And then I would say the longest tracker that I've done, which is actually not updated, so just forgive how fucking blank the spread looks. I do want to try and update it soon, but this is an accomplishments tracker, and it took forever to set up because I had to write all of the months in the year And I did use my Pilot G2 pen, which means that I had to wait like 20 minutes in between everything to make sure it didn't smear. And even then, a lot of it smeared, which is honestly really annoying. Might be one of the reasons I haven't really used that spread, to be completely honest. I'm not super happy with how it turned out, so, but you know what, it's all good. So yeah, and that spread, I would say, probably took upwards of 2 hours, I would say. But yeah, I don't think I've ever spent longer than maybe 2 hours on a spread before, because I do try and save time where I can, because I'm a busy person, and as much as I love bullet journaling, I really don't want to be spending hours upon hours on a single spread. So then next, I got asked how do I use my systems in my bullet journal, and honestly, the main systems that I use in my bullet journal are my goal spreads. So I have yearly, quarterly, monthly, weekly, and daily goals that I have in my bullet journal, and those systems help me a lot to just keep track of my time during that time period and stay on track of everything and shit like that. I have also recently been doing reflections in my bullet journal. As of recording this voiceover and like putting together this video, I haven't filled in my reflections for March yet, but in my old bullet journal, I did used to do a bunch of reflections, which I really liked, so I wanted to try and bring that back into my bullet journal and just kind of see how I like things. I'm going for a bit of a simpler approach than I did last time, just so that I actually keep up with it. And then a couple of other spreads that I think are worth noting as far as systems go. So first of all, we have my reading tracker, obviously. That helps me keep track of my reading and stuff like that. And then I have my accomplishments log, like I talked about earlier, which I do consider somewhat of a system. And then lastly, we have my semester at a glance. And the semester at a glance basically just has all of my due dates for a semester, and I reference this page so much. I truly can't believe it took me this long to include one, because it's truly, like, honestly, I think it might be the most, like, helpful spread in my bullet journal. Like, I might go as far to say that, because it's just really helpful spread. So that's pretty much it for my system. So let's go ahead and very quickly talk about inspiration, and then we can go ahead and jump into the actual setup portion of this video. So for me, most of my spreads come from a need. I need to accomplish a goal, or I need to keep track of my reading. I need to keep track of my assignments. And usually I'll have an idea based on a need for something, and that is kind of the butt of the idea, and then inspiration will come from that. So for example, later in this video, you are going to see me setting up a meal tracker, and this is because I have been wanting to meal prep for a while now, so that was the need. And then the idea for the spread kind of just popped in my mind not long afterwards. But a lot of the time, if I know what I want, but I don't know what I want it to look like, I'll just go on Pinterest, and like, for example, sometimes I'll search like bullet journal semester page, or I'll look at bullet journal meal prep pages, and I'll just kind of see what other people are doing, and I'll usually take bits and pieces of what they're doing, and then I'll modify it to suit my needs and make it unique to me in my bullet journal. Alrighty, so we are now getting into the actual setup portion of this video. I just want to say, I'm not sure if you can tell, but I filmed the Q&A in this actual setup voiceover-wise on two very different occasions. I was actually going to trash this video, because I honestly just didn't want to edit it. The way that I was editing it for the Q&A is very different than how I'm editing it now, and I'm not sure how it's going to go, so just bear with me. This is my first bullet journal setup video that I've filmed and I'm trying to edit, so I hope that this is okay. So the spread that you're seeing right now is my quarterly cover page, and you can just see me right here. I'm just gluing down the envelope, and if you're curious, I'm not sure yet what quite I'm putting in this envelope. I have debated like writing little cute notes to myself, and the day that I've had as of filming, honestly, that might be a good idea, because it's just not it. I used to have this little quote jar on my desk actually that had a lot of really positive quotes, and I might like put little slips of paper with quotes in the envelope to like brighten my day when I need it. I don't know, I might do something like that. I'm not sure yet. Feel free to comment down below what you think I should put in this envelope, because I'm honestly not sure. Someone just texted me on Snapchat. Bad Ren. Do not have your phone on while doing voiceovers. Okay, so then on the other page right here, and apologies for this angle, again, it was my first time using the tripod for this, so it probably wasn't the best, but what I went ahead and did is I glued down a little piece of paper, and you'll see me in a minute drawing on it. And then at the very top and bottom of the page, there's just this little quote that is inspired by Wicca. If you can't tell, I'm Wiccan, and I basically wrote this quote that says, "Trees are my temples and forests are my cathedrals," based on Wicca. And you can see me attempting to draw this tree. I kid you not when I say that, like, drawing that tree took almost an hour. It was fucking ridiculous. I was watching a bunch of tutorials. It's just kind of hard to do. And then on the little slip of paper right next to it, I just wrote out a little quote that says, "Be noble, for you are made from the stars." And then I've seen people do this in a few of their bullet journal videos, where basically they will draw out like a little tape thing, so it looks like it's like taped up on your bullet journal. I think it looks really cute. So I went ahead and did that, and I did an outline on the paper. I really do like how this spread turned out. It's for sure one of my favorites, and I feel like I'm going to say this for every spread because honestly, I am so proud of a lot of the spreads that I have created in this video. Like, I just really think it was immaculate. I did a really good job with all of these spreads, and I'm honestly like super happy with them. Like, I'm so impressed with myself, honestly. And yeah, it was a really fun time, and I kind of want to talk a little bit more about Wicca, I think, because we have a little bit left in this page, which I don't have much more to tell you about, to be quite honest. But basically, one of my big goals for this quarter is really to have a much bigger focus on Wicca in my life. I want to focus more on my spirituality, stuff like that. And as of filming, I actually just went and I dropped $80 on some jewelry. Because of Wicca, because basically I got this ring, and it's not rose quartz, it's another gem. I'm going to look at the picture that I took of it. It's called morganite, for those of you who may not know. Basically, morganite is a very radiating, and it's a very like calm crystal. It's used a lot in crystal therapy, and it looks like identical to rose quartz. Like, if you like, to be completely honest, if I didn't know from the sign that this was morganite, I would have thought it's rose quartz. Like, it looks so good. They look so similar. I really love it, and I really like it because it's like a raw type of crystal. It's not like in a cute little dainty circle. I just really like how raw crystals look. I just think that it connects you to the nature and to earth better, and I just love the look of it. I'm really happy with it. I'll go ahead and insert a picture up here so that you guys can see it. I am so happy with it. It just looks so stunning. And then I also got this little like fire necklace, and I really love it. It's basically just this necklace that has different crystals and stuff that are meant to represent fire. And for those of you who may not know, I am a Leo, so my zodiac sign is a Leo, so I'm a fire sign, and I saw this necklace a while ago and I loved it, and I just knew that I had to have it, and I didn't have the money back when I first saw it, so I went back today and got it, and I got the ring. And basically, so this necklace has citrine, carnelian, and garnet. And there's like this little info card about it that I found really fascinating. I won't read you all of it, but basically a lot of this represents courage, desire, passion was a huge focus I was finding, and then just like bold and dramaticness, you know, because fire signs, especially Leos, we are known for being dramatic bitches, I feel like. So that's a fun time, and I just really want to focus on my spirituality more this quarter. I want to kind of figure out what it is that I believe in and all of that kind of personal shit that I like don't feel completely comfortable talking about right now. But yeah, it's really exciting. I really want to get more citrine. I really love citrine. I think it looks really cute. I feel very connected to it in a way I can't really explain. And I was going to get some today, but I already spent $85 on this ring and necklace, so I wasn't going to spend any more. But hey, there's always next paycheck. And you can see me again kind of re-gluing down that thing. I don't know if I glued it down before this. Maybe. Honestly, who fucking knows? And for those of you who are like, why the hell are you doing that with your scissors? Because basically, so my really good friend Annie does a lot of bullet journal videos, and she explained in her videos that she does this to like make it like stay down and stuff. And not gonna lie, first time I heard about it, thought it was really weird. And then I tried it and I was like, oh, this shit works. So now I use it. And it's actually really helpful. And I would definitely recommend that if you do bullet journal, which I'm sure you do if you're watching this video, to honestly try it because I do think that it works wonders. Like, I was honestly really impressed with how well this worked out. You can see here, I don't know what happened, but I cannot find the footage where I set up the majority of this part of the bullet journal. So I'm sorry about this, but basically on the left side, I have my quarterly goals, and for this I have 4 sections. I have my personal, academic, writing, and author platform, and then in the middle I just have a little thing in orange that says Q2 goals. And then on the right hand page, you can see me starting to set up one of my favorite spreads. I stole a spread from Annie. Annie will probably be mentioned like every spread because I have taken a lot of these ideas from her actually because I just love the way that she does her bullet journal. I think it's fantastic. I'll link her bullet journal playlist down below if you want to check it out. It's really incredible. But basically for this, what I did is I have a little calendar on the very bottom of the right hand page. And I just like to do this just to get an overview of how much time I have in the month. And this is also really helpful, like completely separate from my goals, just like throughout the month. I'm like, how many days is in this month, or like what day is next Thursday? So it's really nice to be able just to have these in my bullet journal and not have to look online for those kind of dates. And then a new addition to this that I made is the good and best. And this is another thing I learned from Annie, and I think she talked about it, I believe it was one of her bullet journal videos where she's talking about the concept of good goals versus your best goals, which is where basically your good goal is a goal that you should easily be able to achieve, but then your best goal is a goal that, you know, you should realistically be able to achieve, but you may not be able to. I may not be explaining this like completely correctly or very well, but that's like the general idea. So for this month, I actually still haven't done this. I really do need to do it. But basically for this quarter, I'm going to be kind of figuring out realistically, like, what could I easily get done in that month, and then what would I really like to get done in that month, but I might not be able to. And for me, that main up school is going to be me working and, like, trying not to be too goddamn fucking tired after working, because that has been a problem that I have been dealing with lately. Unfortunately, it's a huge pain in the ass, let me tell you. And you can see me here just filling in all of my goals. I pre-create all of my goals, so I was just copying them from my laptop, and yeah, so I'm just copying all my goals here. I'm not going to read them out to you just because I'm probably going to be posting them on my Tumblr or something. I was going to make like quarterly goal videos. I keep on going back and forth about it, but honestly, I just like, it's not even that I don't think people would like them. I think you guys would like them. Like, I feel like people would watch them. I just kind of, like, every time I go to film one, I just get so bored, like, halfway through, I can never finish filming. I don't know what it is. I feel like I don't have enough to talk about with the goals. It's just, like, me listing them, and it just feels so boring to me. So, I don't know. I just think for now, like, if I share the goals, it'll be on Instagram or Tumblr or something. It wouldn't be on my channel, because it's just not something that I can really make interesting or engaging, to me at least. So, I don't want to post something that I'm not completely proud of, that kind of thing. interesting or engaging to me at least, so I don't want to post something that I'm not completely proud of, that kind of thing. So then right here you can just see me opening the next page in my bullet journal, which are going to be 2 more quarterly setups. So in this bullet journal for this quarter, this is the most like amount of quarterly setups that I've ever included, and honestly I'm not mad about it. I do think that so far these setups have been pretty helpful, but seeing as we're like a week into April, I can't really tell you if it was worth it to include all of them, but so far I am really liking all of these and I'm excited to continue to use them. So you can see here that I drew the 2 black lines just to separate the 3 months in the quarter, which were of course April, May, and June. And then up at the top I am just writing Q2 with 1 marker, and then you can see I'm making like kind of like a little like shade. I think it's called a drop shadow maybe, with another marker just to create that kind of cute little effect. I've seen a lot of other people who bullet journal make this effect with their bullet journals, and most recently who I saw doing this a lot was Amanda Richley, who is obviously a very popular creator in the bullet journal community, and I just had to try it because it looked really cool. So I also included another spread that uses this technique a lot, which is honestly probably my favorite spread I've made, like aesthetics wise. It looks so cute. And also I realized that, you know, it's April where I live, it's like spring, but honestly I was just really feeling like the dark academia kind of vibe that I had going on. But I will say I did do April, May, and June in the spring colors, so you can kind of see on the side I do April in purple, May and like this light blue, and then June in pink. So it's like I did incorporate spring a little bit because I incorporated it in the colors, so I mean that has to count for something, right? And then you can see here I already had the calendars written out, and I don't think I've talked about this yet, but I did do the sketches for all of these spreads before creating them just to make setting it up on camera a lot easier for me. And this is usually how I just do my bullet journal in general. And then you can just see that I'm putting these little lines, like, I don't know how to explain it. It's like a box without the sides to include the days of the month, because I didn't do this for my last quarterly spread that looked a little bit like this, and I really wanted to. I just think it looks a lot better this way, which is why I do it. We are moving on to my April spread, and this is my cover page, and as you can see, I cut out some different pictures. So the one that you see right now is actually a quote. It was just like a quote with a really large image, and I didn't want the image. I literally just wanted the quote, and it's called "Till Death We Do Art," and it's just kind of like, you know, it's a whole vibe. And you can see right now for a little bit I did keep the full size, not the full size, but like a big chunk of the paper, but I decided later to cut it down because I didn't really care for how it looked. And then you can see me cutting my cardstock, and I'm going to be using this to write April. I will say, I kind of hate how it turned out with the April on it. I think I should have printed it and not done cursive. I'm just not a huge fan of how it turned out. But you know what? I think it's okay. And you can see here, like I said, I cut the Till Death We Do art a lot smaller, and I prefer how that looked. And then I saw a bullet journal thing on Pinterest where someone kind of like cut out these flowers like I did, and they like were opposite each other, so they're almost like in this V shape, and I really liked how that looked, so I went ahead and mimicked it in my spread, and I just think it looked really cute. And then I was using my crystal just to weigh down my page so that doesn't like keep on going up. And that's the nice thing about crystals, is that they're heavy, so you can just use them to weigh down your pages while bullet journaling. And then you can see I'm just gluing them in and using my scissors here to keep them in. And I really love cover pages. I know that not everyone does them, but they're just such a relaxing spread for me to do, and they're so fun and creative. And while this has, like, technically this has no gain for me, like, I don't track anything with the spread, it doesn't, like, inherently help me, but I just love the look of it. I love how it transitions my quarterly spreads into my monthly spreads, or, oh my god, or if it's not the start of a new quarter, it allows for me to transition from month to month very seamlessly, and I really enjoy it. I think it looks really cute. And you can just see here, I'm gluing it down, and yes, I used an absurd amount of glue. I realize that I used more glue than I need to. But you know what? Better more glue than no glue is my motto. That was not grammatically correct in the slightest. But you know what? That's okay. And even though I don't finish the spread yet, we're going to go ahead and talk about the next page, which I actually think I might be starting now. Maybe? No, this is me practicing. Okay, well, we're gonna talk about the next page. So the next page is gonna look very blank to you, and I actually still haven't filled it out because I'm not sure how to go about it, but basically the idea that I got while filming, and you can see me cutting out the first picture, is basically to have a bit of a manifestations spread, and this again ties into Wicca and stuff, but I wanted to just have something to be able to manifest something really good for the month, and I actually think I might try and do the spread like tonight maybe, just because I feel like I'm in a bit of like a headspace where I feel like manifesting could be a good idea, where it's like I've experienced a really shitty day, but now I feel like so much better. So I kind of want to manifest more days going better, if that makes sense. But basically, in the top left, I just glued down a picture of this girl in front of a mirror, and then I put a little picture with the quote, "You are capable of amazing things," in a little flower picture, just to kind of separate whatever I end up writing. And I didn't write it on camera because it's just a very personal thing, obviously, so I just didn't feel comfortable sharing that, but I might post a bit of it on social media. Haven't decided. Honestly, probably not, but like anything's possible, like, let's be real. Now you can just see me right here starting to set up my goals page. So this is actually one of the only pages that I did not plan out in advance, so you'll kind of see me planning it as I go. But this is my goals page for April, and I have a lot of April goals, but I wanted to go ahead and just talk to you guys about some of them because, again, not completely sure how much I'll be talking about them on social media, so I thought it could be fun. So first of all, I'll go ahead and start off with the writing goal, since I'm sure that's the one you guys care about the most. So for my writing goals, I'm hoping to write 30 pages of my dark fantasy romance novel, Smoke and Ashes. I've been working on that a lot recently, and it's been so much fun. Huge shout out to my CP Lexi, who has helped me a lot, not just with like the chapters I've already written, but with brainstorming and stuff. She's been a huge help, and it's just meant a lot, and she's so excited for the story, which makes me so excited. And it's just so much excitement, and it's a really fun time, and I really want to talk to you guys more about Smoke and Ashes soon, because it is a lot of fun. And then I'm also participating in Escape Roll this month. I have been very diligent, and I've been writing a poem every day so far, and it's going super well. I'm honestly really enjoying my time participating in Escape Roll. I wasn't sure how it was going to go, because I've never done like a challenge to write something every single day. Like, I've never done that before, and it's honestly been such a unique experience. It's been really fun, and I am honestly like super happy with how a lot of my poems have turned out. I'm hoping to do a bit of a recap throughout probably like mid-April. I'll post some of my favorites, and then at the start of May I'll post like my final favorites. And then you can see here on my little other page that I'm making a calendar. So I've actually never made a calendar in a bullet journal before. Okay, actually that's a lie. I used to make calendars. I made it like I think once or twice for a few months, but I just never used them, so I never included them again. But usually my goals pages take up 2 pages, but because I hadn't planned mine out in advance, I did not realize it was only going to take up 1 page. So that kind of fucked up my plans, so I decided to add in this calendar, which hasn't been, I won't say it hasn't been helpful, because it has, but definitely not my most useful spread, so I'm not completely sure if I'll include it in my setup for next month or not. I honestly haven't decided. I'm kind of just gonna see how much stuff I have to like include in it, but it has been kind of nice, especially for my monthly goals, because at the moment I've kind of penciled in my cast for Smoke and Ashes, because I also want to get some world building and character profile stuff done for Smoke and Ashes this month, which I don't have as official goals, but I have them like set aside as goals that I'd like to achieve, if that makes sense. So it's just been really helpful with this monthly calendar, because I can basically just use it to plan out everything. And I also made like 2 pretty big mistakes with this monthly calendar. One of them was smearing. There was a bunch of smearing with the spread, and then also I accidentally, because as you can see, when there's not like for example, so April starts on a Thursday, right? So I accidentally included a box for Wednesday, because I was thinking it started on Wednesday, not Thursday. So I ended up putting in this little picture there to make it look like it was intentional. And then for the smearing, I included, you don't see it right now, but you'll see it in a minute or two, where basically I use this brown marker to go for in the first line to kind of make it stand out and to kind of hide my smearing. And it actually turned out really nice. I really liked how it looked, and it just looks really nice, and I enjoyed it. And oh, here we go. Pen, marker, right here. You're gonna see it. And then I make little boxes for all the dates, and I think it looks really cute. I really like it. And I do think that I want to have some variation of a calendar in May, I'm thinking, because so far it has been helpful, especially for my paydays, because I keep on forgetting when I get paid, and it's just nice to be able to flip to it. And again, if there's any events that happen throughout the month, you know, it's nice to have it's nice to have a place to actually be able to jot them down. Whereas before, I didn't really have a place to do that, which is also why I think that for my 2022 setup, I know this is a while away, I do think I am going to include a future log because I do think I could benefit from it. I'm not excited to set that up, but you know what? That's next year's problem. But I also could include it in my next bullet journal because I'll be getting a next bullet journal for sure for June. Also, maybe for May, I don't know. I need to figure out how many pages I have left in my bullet journal and see if that will be enough for May or if I'm gonna need to have that for June. So you guys will be seeing like a mid-year new bullet journal type of setup in a few months. So that'll be exciting. I hope that I will get around to filming and posting that because honestly, I had a really fun time filming this video. It was really nice just to sit down, relax, and bullet journal, and I didn't have to think too much about it, and it was just a really fun time, and I really did enjoy myself. It was just good. It was good. I really did enjoy it, and yeah, I don't think I have, like, much else to say, so I'm just gonna go ahead and put on some music, and feel free to sit back and relax and watch me finish the spread. So then, as I flip the page here, you can see that I am starting to set up probably the most, I would say, like, practical slash most helpful trackers that I have set up in this video so far, which is, first of all, so on the left here, we just have my page tracker with a little cameo for my Crystal, my beautiful babe. And I, again, stole both this page and writing tracker from Annie, but I do believe Annie said that she took the writing tracker from Victoria Schwab originally, but I found it through Annie, so yeah. And for the page tracker, I have 4 increments for page counts. I have 125, 250, 375, and 500. And to be completely honest, if I could change one thing about these 2 spreads, it would be to make these increments smaller, because now that I'm realizing it, now, have I read 500 pages in a day? Yes. But that's, like, so rare. Like, I could maybe do that like once a month. So I think what would have been smarter is to end it at 375 and have the plus on there, because I know that realistically like 375 is like kind of pushing it for me. So I think that if I do keep the tracker next month, which I do think I'm going to, I think I will end it at around 400 pages or maybe even just like 350, just because for me personally, I'm someone who I like to read a lot throughout the month. I don't necessarily binge read a ton, because okay, it's like because it's okay, it's tricky for me because I do kind of binge read, but for me, binge reading is like 200 pages. It's not 500 pages. So I do think I made this tracker a little unrealistically for me and my reading. And you can see on there, I'm writing out on this paper my different stories for my writing tracker, which I'll talk about in a minute, but I'm just going to keep on talking about the reading tracker for now. So then for my reading tracker, I just have like this big L shape. So on the left hand side, I just wrote out the days of the month, and I forgot to like keep track of the boxes. So I accidentally have like 2 empty spaces right there. So I'm actually thinking of maybe totaling up like how many pages I read this month and then what my average pages per day would be. I think that could be some interesting data to have right there for myself. And I'm looking at my spread right now as of April 5th, and it literally looks so nice. Like, I love how this turned out. It looks so gorgeous so far, and I'm excited to see it full for the entire month. I think it's going to look so fucking awesome, and I'm so excited for it. And it has been a bit of a pain to keep track of my, like, starting page count and ending page count for the day, because I have to remember to take the screenshots of my ebooks. But honestly, it's worth it for this tracker. Like, I really like it, and it's really motivating me to read more so I can fill in the tracker, which is amazing. And yeah, I think that's all I gotta say about the page tracker. So moving on to the writing tracker. So as you can see, I'm drawing a bunch of boxes. So on here, I'm keeping track of, let's see, 3, 6, 9. So technically just 11, but kind of 12 stories. So I do have another category because I have a bunch of stories. So let's go ahead and talk about the ones that I have on here. So the most obvious one is Smoke and Ashes, because that's my main work in progress right now. And also, I don't think I mentioned it in this video, but if you're wondering why I'm not mentioning Sinister Wolves, that's because I'm not working on that book at the moment. There is potentially going to be a writing diaries video talking about this a little bit more in depth, but yeah, I'm not working on Sinister Wolves for the foreseeable future, which is why I'm not mentioning it in this writing tracker. So then next up is my epic fantasy that I literally just got the idea for last week. Like, I barely just thought of this story, but it's gonna be fun. It's gonna be a fun time. I'm very excited for that. And then for like the dark green, we have my male science fiction fantasy book, which I have worked on this month, and that was so much fun. I am so excited to continue to work on that. Then we have my mermaid book. That is a very dark book, and I am very excited to work on it. I am also hoping to work on it at least once this month. It's gonna be a great story. I'm very excited for that. Oh my god, this is so random, but sometimes Gatorade gives me heartburn, and I just had Gatorade, and now I kind of have heartburn, which is making filming this voiceover a little difficult, but we're just gonna power through. Okay, let's do this. Okay, so next up we have my reincarnation story, which is exactly what it sounds like, and then we've got Wolves of War, which is a story I was just working on yesterday. It went really well. I'm actually doing this for a vlog that may or may not be a collab with Annie. I'm just saying that I wouldn't be surprised if I were you if I saw a vlog on my channel next week. Yeah, that's all I'm gonna say for now. And I may or may not mostly be working on Wolves of War in that vlog, so stay tuned. And then, okay, so for the other ones, I have a couple romances that I put on there. Highly doubt I'm gonna work on them, but those ones are my Ma Chérie, which is my French female romance one. Then I have a plane flight romance, which I'm super excited to work on. Then I have my dating app with a twist book, which the premise that I have for this book is incredible. I can't wait to work on it. It's going to be fantastic. And then I have my poems, because I just have like basically a Word doc just filled with random poetry that I've been writing lately. And then some short stories. So I have 4 different short story collections that I am working on at the moment. 2 of them are retellings, and then 2 of them are not retellings, is all I will say. And then I just have another category for any other story ideas that I work on, because believe it or not, these are not all my projects. I restrained myself from writing all of them on there. And then And then you can see that I have a little note in pencil on the side which just says collage plus book quotes. So I'm thinking of printing out some pictures that remind me of whatever book I feel like putting a quote. So I'm thinking I'm going to do a little collage with that quote. I think it could look really cute. And as you can see when I'm erasing it, there's like a wee bit of smudging. It's honestly not even that super noticeable. Like if I look on, like I have my bullet journal in front of me as I'm recording, and like you have to really look to see the smudging, but I feel like it looks very noticeable on camera. But yeah, that's all for the writing tracker. Now you can see here I am just opening my budgeting tracker, and this is probably the most like pencil heavy I think tracker that I have in here, just because it was the one that I haven't really done anything like this before. So I think I've mentioned this in this voiceover so far. I don't know, I'm filming this in parts and it's been a couple hours, so this video is just kind of all over the place. But basically I started a job back in March and I have been wanting to budget since, you know, I have a job, kind of need to start budgeting, which is why I have this tracker. So on the left hand side you can see I have an expenses tracker, and this is just where I'm going to be tracking both money coming in and coming out of my account. I'm gonna probably come up with a better title than expenses because I'm not just labeling expenses, I'm also labeling income. So I'm gonna figure out a better title for that, but it's gonna be the same idea. And then I just have 4 columns. One is going to be for the date of a purchase. Second will be for a description. So for example, the first one that I have on here is lunch at work. And then the third one is going to be categories. So as you can see, I have boxes on the right hand page. And these are all of the categories. So I've got food, shopping, stationery, books, Wicca, subscriptions, moving savings, publishing savings, miscellaneous in total. And then I have a little dollar sign, and that's where I'm going to note basically like how much it costs, basically. And yeah, that's basically all it for my expenses tracker. And then on the right hand side, I have these boxes, and you can see I'm modifying it with the pencil because I originally was going to have this spread look one way, but I decided to alter it to kind of better suit my needs, basically. So I went through with a pencil for a while and had to tweak a lot of this spread, but I'm really happy I did because the finished version I think looks a lot better than how I originally intended it for it to look. So yeah, I'm just very happy with it. And then for each of the boxes, I just have in them what I budgeted for a category, what I actually spent, and I'm scared to see this at the end of the month because my god. And then yeah, that's basically it for these 2 spreads, and I don't really have anything else to tell you guys. So once again, I am just going to put on some nice and relaxing music, and I will go ahead and be back in a little bit to do kind of a recap ending voiceover, and I'll show you guys some close-ups in a minute. But for now, enjoy me finishing to set up the spread. And now I'm just going to go ahead and show you a bunch of close-ups for this video. So we are jumping back to the quarterly spreads, and there might be some parts of these spreads that I didn't talk to you guys about. So if there's any parts of these spreads that you're wondering about that I didn't talk about in this video, feel free to comment down below, and I'd love to answer any questions you might have. But yeah, I'm honestly really happy with how all of these spreads turned out. There are a few things about them that I don't care for. Oh, and also for this goals spread, I did not film it when I did this, but I highlighted the little lines above the goals in a marker, so it looks a little different. I did not realize my cat had made an intermission there, but yeah, that is pretty much it for these spreads, so I hope you enjoyed today's video, and if you did, please give it a big thumbs up and hit that big red subscribe button down below, and I will see you in my next video.